Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do value and shading with your colored pencils. Before we begin, it would mean a lot to me if you left a like and subscribe, so please do that. So we'll start with materials now. First thing you're going to need is paper, obviously. I'm using Strathmore drawing paper. You really can use any kind of thick textured paper. You can use regular smooth printer paper, but I don't really recommend that. If you just want to test out the technique, then that's fine, but if you're actually trying to get a good result out of this, I recommend using some thick sketchbook paper. I really recommend the Strathmore brand. It's very nice. They have all kinds of different variations of sketchbooks, like they have Bristol, I know, but I'm just using the regular drawing one. It works for me, but you can find out whatever works for you. You're also going to need some rubbing alcohol. You can use paint thinner too if you have that, or you can use a real pencil blender. This is just a substitute for pencil blender. I just find it an easy around the home substitute for that. It's basically just the same thing as a pencil blender, except not really made for blending pencils. You can also use paint thinner, like I said, just it's kind of toxic, so make sure you have some kind of ventilation, like a window open. You're also going to need a brush to spread it with. This one's about as big as my pointer finger, so it doesn't have to be too big, just something you can dip easily into the rubbing alcohol or whatever you're using and just blend the colored pencil. You're also going to need a 1-inch brush to get the little pencil bits or crumbs off your work instead of using your hand and smearing it possibly. Make sure it's a fluffy brush that can easily just wipe on the paper without smearing anything. Make sure it's fluffy, and like I said, I'm using a 1-inch. Doesn't have to be too big. You're also going to need an eraser. You can use any standard eraser, really. This is just a basic, everyday eraser. I'm also using eraser pencils. I probably won't use them in this video, but they're a really cool tool to have. They have little points at the top that aren't pencil, they're eraser. And you can sharpen them, which is actually surprising. So they're just nice eraser pencils. They really do work, trust me. I'm using the, I don't even know how to say it, Faber-Castell. I don't know. I feel like I've heard of that brand, but I just don't know how to say it. But yeah, they really do work. I do recommend them. You're also going to need a pencil sharpener. I'm using the Prismacolor one. It works really nice. It has 2 different holes you can sharpen your pencils in. This one makes it sharp, and this one with a wide top, and this one makes it with a skinny top and sharp. I mean, obviously it makes it sharp. It's a pencil sharpener. Here's just an example of a pencil I sharpened in there. As you can see, it has a really nice, beautiful point there. And speaking of colored pencils, that's the last thing you're going to need. You're going to need 5 different colored pencils for this. Find any kind of 3 colored pencils that you have that are the same color but just different variations of it. I'm using brown. You can use 3 different blues, 3 different pinks, but just make sure it's 3 different variations. You're also going to need a black colored pencil and a white colored pencil. But I do recommend using brown or some kind of dark color because it'll be easier to blend with the black. Just make sure you have a dark variation of those colors, not all light. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to be teaching you how to draw just a simple ball and then adding value and shading to it. So I'm going to start by I'm going to go with my grizzly bear color. This is the one in the middle of all of them. So I'm going to get a round object I have around here. I'm just going to use my pencil sharpener. May not be a perfect circle. Oof, yeah, that's not good. All right, we're just gonna try to freehand the circle, okay? Yeah, okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just gonna freehand the circle. You guys should probably use something round. This might not turn out perfectly round, but I'm doing my best. Oh my God, this is a really lopsided circle. It's okay, I'm not actually using this for anything really professional, so it doesn't have to be perfect. When you're just practicing your drawing like this, you don't have to make perfect circles. Mine is really lopsided, as you can tell, but it's fine since I'm just practicing. So you're going to start out by just doing a base layer. I'm going to just start with my same color that I used for the circle, the grizzly bear color. And you're just gonna hold it back here so you can control. This really helps to control the value of your pencil. So it's really, you have to remember, hold it back here when you're trying to do value. If you're trying to get little details, it's okay to hold it up here. But when you're doing value, make sure you hold your pencil back here. So I'm gonna start with pretty dark down here, since this is like, I'm gonna have the light source coming from like around there. So it's gonna have to be dark down here. It's important when you're doing value and stuff to make sure you have like, you know where your light source is coming from. I know mine's gonna be coming from up here. So I'm gonna have to make this area light and then this area dark. So let me continue. So you're just gonna get gradually lighter as you go on. Just start putting less pressure on the color pencil. Just notice how I'm just making sure I have enough pigment on the paper. You can still make it light and have enough pigment, because when we're going to be blending with the solvent, we need to make sure, well, I call it solvent sometimes, but it's basically just rubbing alcohol. When we blend with that, you need to make sure you have enough pigment down on the paper, or else it won't really look that great. I think maybe just a little darker in this area. This is just the first layer, so it doesn't really have to be perfect. All right, maybe a little bit darker down here. I want to make sure I have that curve right there. Oops. All right, that looks pretty good. So now you're gonna take, I'm gonna use my dark chocolate. Ow, that point actually really hurts. So I'm just gonna hold it right there for this job. I'm just gonna kind of make a little outline back there, because this is gonna be like the dark shaded area. So I'm just gonna outline that. I'm gonna, not too dark, but just like lightly. Don't put too much pressure on it. And just color that area, make sure you blend the colors. I'm gonna move up into the lighter area because I have too much light, not enough dark, I think. It's okay, I'll fix that solvent. I'm gonna make sure we get this shading right. It's very important that you hold it back here so you can blend the colors easier also. And go in circular motions when you're doing a ball so it fits the image. Alright, I think that's looking good. I'm just gonna take this last light brown and I'm just gonna kinda come in and just blend them. I'm barely putting any pressure on it at all. Just barely touching the paper and just kind of blending them together that way. Because sometimes it helps to go in with a lighter color and try to blend your colors back there. Alright, so now I'm opening up the rubbing alcohol and I'm just gonna dip the brush into it. So I get it on the brush. Then I'm just gonna use the lid. Actually, I'll get this scrap piece of paper I have over here. Just gonna like wipe off the excess. Just make sure you don't have too much rubbing alcohol on your brush. And now you're just gonna start in the light area. You're just gonna do little circular motions. I really like about like the solvent and rubbing alcohol that it makes the colors pop and makes them more vibrant. It also takes away like the graininess of the color pencil, which is really good. Oh, I did not have much on my brush at all, sorry. I have to dip it back in again. So I'm gonna get a little bit more and not take too much off. That seems good. But don't get too much on your brush, because especially when you're doing the light area, you don't want it to like look completely white. You still want it to have a little bit of that nice color in there. I'm just gonna go up into there and make it curve so it looks realistic. So it's starting to look more realistic. I'm just gonna give that a couple minutes to dry. All right, I've let it dry a little bit. Now I'm going to continue, and I'm going to take my grizzly bear color, the middle one, and I'm just gonna kind of go into there and just, those little spaces that are kind of whitish, I'm just gonna kind of go around them, not putting too much pressure on, just kind of going like that. I'm also gonna get up here because I noticed I don't have the curve right, so I'm just gonna kind of do that and get that area. And when you're trying to do small areas, like I was just trying to like fix that area up, it's okay to hold your pencil up here, only when you're doing like areas like that one. Alright, so I noticed I just want to make it a little bit darker up in here. Make that a little bit more blended. I'm going to take my darker color and just kind of make it a little bit more dark down there. And then I'm going to take my lighter color and blend them together. Make it look nice. Maybe I'll get up here because it doesn't look like I have a lot of pigment up in that area. Alright, so now we'll blend with the solvent again, or rubbing alcohol, whatever you want to call it. But this time you're not going to put as much on your brush. Try to get more excess off, because when you do the second layer, you don't put as much solvent on your brush. So I'm just going to try to get a lot of the excess off this time. Alright, that seems good. I barely have anything on here at all. And if we were to do a third layer, which we're not going to in this video, I mean, you can if you want, but then you put even less solvent or rubbing alcohol on your brush. So don't rush it, don't like go like that. Just make little circular motions and slowly go from the light area into the darker area. And this stuff, the solvent, rubbing alcohol, it also makes your painting look, I mean not painting, sorry, your colored pencil art look more like a painting. So that's the other good thing about it. There we go. I think it looks pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to give it a little bit less time to dry, but still let it dry a little bit. Alright, I've let it dry. So now I'm going to just go over here with the white pencil. Just going to make a few highlights right there. The white pencil is easy to do highlights when you're going over the rubbing alcohol or solvent. Just easy to just make little white highlights in this area. You just do like a little glistening right down there. You can't really see it that well, but it just kind of like makes it look more realistic. It doesn't like pop out on the paper, it just a little bit more realistic. I'm also just gonna take the black and then go like that. A little bit of black down there. Alright. So if you're still trying to hold the pencil here, make sure you just stop that bad habit and start holding it like this. Just remember, hold it like this, okay? Alright, now for the last step, we're going to do a little shadow. Just come like that. Take your black colored pencil and just, I'm going to go kind of far out. And if I were like doing this to actually like make a piece of artwork, I would probably be more like particular about it. I'm just gonna erase that right there. That looks really bad. Oh my god, why is that so... Ugh. Alright, I am so sorry that the shadow looks horrible, but... my god, I don't know why. Clearly I cannot draw my shadow today, but pretend that actually looks like a good shadow. Alright, next you're going to just take the black and make it really dark right there. Right underneath. Hopefully you guys drew a better shadow than me. Right underneath it there. And then you're going to hold it back there again. You're just going to gradually get lighter and lighter and lighter. Make sure to go slowly, don't go too fast. And we're not going to be blending this area with the solvent or rubbing alcohol. So you don't have to worry too much about getting a lot of pigment on the paper. Since we're only using one color, we really don't have to blend it. I mean, if you want to blend it just to make like the transitions look better in the shadow, you can, but you don't have to. It's more important to do it up there. I'm sorry, my shadow looks horrible. I cannot draw a shadow today. I don't know why. But, kind of what you're going to be doing. And maybe I should have just made it like a smaller, like, and also like up there, and then that would have been a good shadow. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope it helped. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.